Patreon allows creators to offer their fans a way of supporting them and what they do. With flexible and painless payment options, anyone can support their creator for as little as $1 a month. If you would like to help me do what I love, check out the link in the video description to learn more. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a quick Paragon guide. I am Sylphin, as I'm going to give you two decks and some tips while playing Terra, just that I found my first day and reading online and watching some people. So here are my two decks that I have kind of thought up for Terra. Now this first deck is a jungle or off lane, kind of a brawler deck. You are tanky, but you're also, you're gonna get in there and deal some damage as well. So Demolitionist for the jungle, or Exoskeleton for the off lane, solo lane, just so you can obviously survive. Demolitionist gives you great clear along with her cleave, and Exoskeleton, obviously that health goes a really long way. Flame of Zetchin, fantastic card for the jungle, even for the off lane, as you can have two flames on your team. It's just a really good option if you know they're going to be very objective focused, or you're going to be very objective focused. Flame of Zetchin is a really good option. Green Spring, that basic armor in the early game is tremendous, and that health regen while out of combat really helps, especially if you're against a ranged hero in the off lane, or even in the jungle. You can get that obviously while you're running around. It just really helps. It really helps as you're out of combat. You can get that health regen. Blitz Rush, fantastic card for Terra. That dash forward is tremendous, or dash in any direction that you're moving is absolutely phenomenal. You open up with a few basic attacks into a stun, into a new basic attacks. They use their escape ability. You dash after them. It's absolutely phenomenal. Blitz Rush to engage, disengage. It's almost a must-have on Terra. Growth Totem, if there's two carries on the enemy team and you know it's just going to be this long game that you need to scale into the late game, Growth Totem is there for you. Vital Waters, obviously tremendous sustain, again increasing all healing effects, and the max health and health regen is just perfect. If you need that super monstrous sustain, get it, especially if somebody is possessed in the solo lane. You got to go straight for that Vital Waters. Thorn Yomi, one of my absolute favorite cards. Power basic armor, exactly what Terra needs in the late game. Use this as you dive into the backline, especially again if they have two carries and they have a high burst, they have a Countess. I mean, Thorn Yomi, it's really good situational. Use this preferably while you're taking as much damage as possible. Doesn't matter if you're shielded or immune or not. Yeah, got to do that. Vengeful Mire, fantastic card. Applies that movement speed slow to all enemies around you after taking 300 damage, plus max health, plus basic armor. Absolutely phenomenal. You can stick to targets like glue that are attacking you, and that is what Terra needs. She isn't very mobile. She has no slow of her own. Speaking of slows of her own, this is why we get Trapper. It is a late game option. Really kind of don't go for it. Or if you're feeling confident in the solo lane, you can go for it. Or in the jungle, can go for it right off the bat. There's just not too many cards that curve into it. While you will use that 8 agility in the late game, there isn't much to curve into it with this deck. You can take something out, add something else like Overclock Droid or something like that. It is a good curving card, or Coursing Zephyr, which is actually a really good card on Terra. You have Unbroken Spirit for the ability armor mitigation. Really, with all the stuns that are out there, this is going to be the card to go for, especially for the regen. And of course, Unstable Cyborg, because you're going to be so tanky, you're going to be sticking in the battle. They're just going to be dealing damage to themselves when they attack you. So brawlery sort of focus here. Endgame deck being Unbroken Spirit, Unstable Cyborg, maybe Thorned Yomi, or if you're going for Trapper Unbroken, Unstable, or Trapper Unbroken, or Thorn. Growth Totem, if you really want to scale into the very late game. Growth Totem, Unbroken, Unstable, or Vengeful Mire. I mean, it's really all up to you what options you have here. In quick exit, so you can get back onto the battlefield quickly. Mana Reactor, she has severe mana issues, so Mana Reactor. Damage Return, so again, you can just deal that damage while taking it and hopefully mitigating. Consume the Dead for sustain on the battlefield and improved health regen for further sustain. She has a lot of mitigation in terms of purifying herself, with the shield and the immunity and her other shield, so she doesn't necessarily need Reflexive Purify, and Consume the Dead will just help you. Onslaught, she has really long cooldowns, so you want to reduce those cooldowns as you're hacking away on your enemies. Now this deck is different. You're a fighter. You're dealing damage. You're getting in there, and there is some tankiness as well. in here a bit, but you're more focused on this one dealing damage. It can perhaps work in the jungle if you really wanted it to. It'd just be a little bit of a rough start. Maybe you could throw a few other cards in here, but it is up to you. This mainly for the solo lane, to dominate that solo lane so you can deal the damage, make those kills, get the towers, and really be effective. So there's a little bit more, there's definitely more damage in this deck for sure. Living Guardian, that's kind of the tanky card here. I mean, really, you're just getting this before you get Possessed Spryken. Possessed as a cursed card, I thought I needed some super late game economy item, so we threw in Red Zone. We threw in Red Zone with Red Zone and Thorn Diomi and Possessed Spryken. I think, you know what, Terra could be an absolute beast on the battlefield. And it's just, I love that. I love that idea. So we have Living Guardian into your Possessed Spryken. Then you start going down damage. Nitro Boost, maybe Blitz Rush instead. Again, that Blitz Rush is so damn good for her, provide her that mobility, confirm kills, get out of things, etc., etc. Guard Piercer for the damage. Veil Stepper for even more health regen, so you can just be just even more insane. And of course, get some good jukes as you maybe overextend in the solo lane around the fog walls. Swamp Stalker, so you can absolutely go to town on that person in the solo lane with a 30 bonus damage. Heavy Hitter Heavy Hitter is the highest DPS increase. It even beats out Shatter Golem. The 15% basic damage increase. I don't know, it just, the math works really in its favor. Of course, once you combine Shatter Golem with other things, of course that does really good things, but Heavy Hitter, it's underestimated, even though everybody takes it. Thorn Diomi, again, is another fantastic card. Once you start going down Vitality after Agility, or you're just kind of mixing the two up, Thorn Diomi is really good, especially once you get Red Zone. You pretty much have to go for it. We have Wound Seeker for the crazy attack speed, which he really likes, and Vampiric Blade to give you that sustain while you're dealing that damage. So, I mean, this is a fighter deck. You're dealing damage, you're getting in there, you're winning your solo lane, and maybe you have a super tanky support and a jungler, something like that. This is where you would pick this deck in the solo lane for sure. And maybe you could tweak the deck here, take something out to go for a Demolitionist, which looks like there was a little bug there. Ruthless, that damage is there. Lifesteal for even more sustain as you stick on your target. Duelist is there to take less damage, so you can actually be a pseudo tanky frontliner with Duelist as you go for that carry. Quick exit to get back on the map, so you can even press your early game advantage even more. Mana Reactor, she really does suffer from mana issues, and Onslaught to reduce those cooldowns that are so dang important. Now, in the solo lane at least, what the first ability you get kind of depends on who you're off laning, or who you're solo laning against. And for Greystone, I'm going to pick the stun, just so I can kind of stun him, just from doing that kind of nonsense. And it provides you a good amount of burst. So definitely when you are dueling the solo laner here, you really got to think of how you can combo your abilities. And of course, these are bots, guys, but it does give you an example of comboing her abilities together. If it's a ranged hero, go for your counter guard. It'll likely going to poke you. If you have a Faye in the solo lane, you can probably try to deflect her range. If it's a Revenant with his 4th shot, on all that nonsense, you can definitely go for that. Definitely go for those 2 abilities first, and then Ruthless. Here, I mean, really, Greystone, he doesn't have any special ability or damage instance I want to necessarily mitigate, so I'm going to go for my Q to try to win this lane a little bit more. Now, in terms of upgrading your abilities, definitely going to want to go for that stun over pretty much anything else. The Deafening Command is really strong. A 2-second stun is out of this world good, and you really have to focus on that. So what I've been doing here is going for using Blitz Rush and the Possessed Spryken to really push that advantage. The power and attack speed on Blitz Rush is phenomenal. For a 4-cost card, it gives you exactly what you need to deal damage. It's absolutely phenomenal. Plus Possessed Spryken, obviously giving that power and health, is phenomenal. Then you go into Veil Stepper, and it works really well because you're going down vitality and agility while dealing damage, getting that tankiness, and going to on your way to getting mana reactor. And that's what you see me doing here with 1 point into getting that ruthless gem and 1 more to get mana reactor. So not only are you tanky here, you're also incredible sustain. You can dive towers like that using your ultimate, using your shield to dive towers. It is really quite phenomenal. With the Veil Stepper, gives you even more health regeneration, so you're kind of like super sustain while dealing damage from Veil Stepper, Possessed, and Blitz Rush here in this early game. And you just kind of continuously apply this pressure. And that's pretty much what you are going for. I mean, Veil Stepper transitioned into Wound Seeker, which we can get now. We transitions into a Vampiric Blade. You can even, if you don't even want Veil Stepper, you can go down Heavy Hitter or Swamp Stalker. I mean, this deck, I'm just trying this out. Yes, I know it's bots, but I feel like Terra needs some damage. If you can utilize her ultimate and her counter guard at the perfect moments, I think she honestly does really quite well. It's kind of quite surprising. She has a huge character model, so she can body block like that, use your shield to mitigate tower damage like that. I didn't even need to use my Blitz Rush there. I didn't even feel the need to use my Blitz Rush to either confirm the kill on Bellica or not. If she feels really good. The Q is kind of just a mana drain, I feel. You know, the animation is kind of slow. It doesn't deal too much damage. Like, yeah, it does 200, but I mean, I just don't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't really have too much of a place here in Terra's kit. With that said, it does clear camps really quite well. But guys, when it comes to team fights and skirmishes and stuff, I mean, really this deck in particular is just all about winning your lane, winning that duel, outmaneuvering your targets, dealing kind of damage, have like good life steal, mana reactor gem for sustain. So you basically just out-brawl your enemy laner, really. And when it comes to team fights, you just kind of pick apart their backline. You pick apart the weak heroes, force them to just kind of deal with you, and you just kind of go to town. That's kind of about it, really. You use your ultimate for some shields, pop your ult for pop the Overflowing Feast for some lifesteal. They just kind of go to town. Use your shield for a stun mitigation, and that's really about it. I mean, I haven't played too much Terra yet. This is obviously a stomp fest in against bots, but she feels all right. I mean, you use her against crowd control, for crowd control, and your team needs crowd control, I suppose. I mean, other than that, it's, yeah. Let me know down in the comments, guys. What do you guys think of Terra? What tips do you have? What do you think of these decks? I'd really, really, really love to know. Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. Please like this video, like it, dislike it, share it with the community. Of course, guys, subscribe if you guys like this content, especially if you found it useful. Please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Check the video description for links to my website, merchandise store, and Amazon affiliate link, as well as all my social media right here. Please check, huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, YouTube sponsors, and Twitch subscribers who all go out of their way to make these videos possible. If you want to help me out in that way, links are in the video description. Till next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.